What's up, guys? Welcome to Three Man Power Trip. We've been on
a little bit of a hiatus.
Yeah, hiatus. Not a lot going on. This past week, there's been a lot going on, I guess. So we're back, and we're going to start off with some NFL news.
Woo-hoo. The main topic that everyone's kind of talking about is Kaepernick, because everything that's happened, and he's kind of...
And we'll try not to get
right. We're not going to get political. We're staying with football, but there is opportunity for him to get back in the league. Is kind of the point. Yeah. So his top landing spots. So
number one, who's that?
Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
Baltimore Ravens.
I don't understand why they're number one on the list.
There's a couple connections.
Greg Roman.
Roman was his offensive coordinator when the Ravens played the 49ers.
Right.
The system, kind of.
And then the Harbaugh brothers. That was also his coach. I mean, I think he'd fit in to the system because obviously he's used to it with Roman. That's how he utilized him. But
right.
It wouldn't make any sense unless they were to make a move and ship RG3 out. But
right, because you guys already. That's why it did make sense to me because you already got Lamar and RG3.
We got McSorley, and then there's.
I'm guessing that one's probably not gonna.
Right, I don't think that would come to fruition.
I think too. Kaepernick would probably want more money than what we're paying RG3. Ravens have more money to spend elsewhere.
Right. Number two is Seattle. I could see this a little more.
I could, and Pete Carroll's already came out and said that he regrets not signing him.
And he would be willing to.
Because he tried out for him a few years ago.
So the only thing with a lot of these teams is he's not going to be the starter, which I don't know if that's what his goal. I mean, obviously, everyone's goal is to be the starter.
There may be one on the list that he might be.
Right, there is one on the list, but
I think Seattle. I think he'd probably be your clear-cut
number
two.
Yeah. Right, he would be the clear-cut backup to Wilson.
I think he'd be the clear-cut backup on any of these teams. I mean,
right. But I could definitely see scheme-wise, Ravens. They've become a mobile quarterback. Seattle, Wilson, mobility. Right. And the number three is the Texans. You got Deshaun Watson, a mobile quarterback, mobile system. Granted, their O-line
and you need to be mobile.
Right, you have to be mobile on the Texans. Their O-line is not much. But
I mean, another thing with Texans, kind of, you don't know what that organization's going to do.
They're kind of a mess right now.
I mean, they could sign Kaepernick. Hell, they could trade Watson.
Right, and then Kaepernick.
They're going to have to pay Watson. I know.
God, that would be so dumb.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Unless he went to the Vikings.
So number four, which is, in my opinion, the most realistic opportunity for him to be a starter.
And this came out today too.
Is the Chargers.
Yep.
And they have also confirmed that they're going to give him a workout and that they're building or creating a system that he could be utilized in.
And he could have a shot there, too, to be a starter.
Right. That's the one I think is the most realistic.
Because they just drafted their quarterback, you know what I mean?
I was going to say, I don't think he would. Because you get Tyrod's obviously probably going to be the starter week one. You spent all that draft capital on Herbert.
Yeah.
And that's true.
But Herbert's a big question. I mean, we don't know yet. I mean, and who knows when the season's going to get started.
But that right there would definitely, he would be going in with the potential
to take over.
To compete for the starting job at least. Yeah. Even if he doesn't get it, he would have the most potential to earn it.
The thing with that is, really, I mean, that's not a bad spot to go. They have a young defense. That's pretty stout.
Their offense isn't.
You have Keenan Allen. They got Eckler back, right?
They run back.
Who's the other receiver?
Mike
Williams.
Mike Williams. Yeah.
Then Hunter Henry, right?
They've got weapons.
I think they've been one of those teams that's kind of disappointed because, and I think it had a lot to do with Phil Rivers. I mean, he's just not
he's not the quarterback to get you over the hump.
Right.
You got to be able to be a little mobile, and with all the weapons they've had, I think they could have done a lot better with a better quarterback.
I can agree with that. On to number five, the Chiefs. Once again, you're going to be a backup to Mahomes, but if you're signing a 1-year deal, just get back in the league, get back in the locker room, and
I don't really think it's a bad spot because he'd back up Mahomes.
Right, on a hell of a team with
He's
a lot
mobile.
of talent.
You have pretty much that's all speed. You got Tyreek Hill, you got your tight end blanket with Kels, Sammy Watkins. They got that LSU running back. There's a lot of weapons there.
Yeah.
Damian Williams.
Damian Williams, yeah.
Number 6, the Jaguars.
He could take over the starting job.
Right.
Yeah.
That's another one that he could become the starter, but
If I was him, there's not really a whole lot of weapons there.
No.
That's the only problem with the Jaguars. I don't see them as a top tier potential playoff.
They're not going to
team.
be making a playoff push,
Right.
more than likely.
The Chargers have the talent. The Jaguars is a realistic starting opportunity, but I don't think the talent would be surrounding him. And then
Number 7, the Minnesota Vikings. It'd definitely be an upgrade as a backup, but Cousins has a few years left on his deal,
Right.
so I mean, you're not getting that job anytime soon.
right.
But I mean,
you never know.
well, that's true. Cousins, he stays pretty healthy. I mean, he's never really
that's
got
the
hurt.
good thing about Cousins.
I mean, he's consistent, throwing for at least 3,000 yards, 3,500 yards.
Right.
You know, at least 25 touchdowns, maybe
Like I
around
said,
10 picks.
I mean, he'd be a good backup anywhere. I mean, any of these teams.
Right.
I mean, who knows? He's healthy. He might come out with a spark. He might be able to run with it. Catch something kind of like with what happened with Tannehill in Tennessee. New quarterback, everything clicked.
And no matter what people think about what he did on the field, the guy's a good player. I mean,
He's a winner.
He's able to make it in the NFL.
He went to the
NFC
Super Bowl.
Championship game.
Yeah, he went to a Super Bowl. Like, how do you?
Yeah, and I've seen some of these backups on some of these teams, and they're god awful.
Right.
I'm like, how does he not have a job?
He would definitely be an upgrade
Throw one
at
out
backup
there.
almost
Oakland.
anywhere.
Who's
Oakland. Yeah.
They've
Got
Nathan
they got
Peterman.
Carr and they've got
Mariota.
now.
Nathan Peterman? Is that the one that always throwing picks?
Peterman.
Tennessee Titans is actually the number 8. You put
Tannehill.
Tannehill's name out there. Once again, he would be a backup there. But I think just getting in the league is going to be his goal. Backup or not, starter or not, just get in the league, get in the locker room, and then you can attain that starter position after a year maybe.
Because he's going to have some rust. I mean,
Now you guys.
but he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on his body the past few years either. So
that's true.
So where do you guys think? He goes?
I have one more. I want to add another team. I just thought about this.
You might be thinking what I'm thinking.
Now, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Now, hear me out. Wentz can't stay healthy.
Yep.
At all.
That's true.
I think that would have potential.
He would go
in
there
that
as a
offense.
backup,
Yeah.
but
To me,
once Wentz gets injured, then he's
Yeah.
taking over with that offense.
with Philadelphia, if you're in that position, I would just give the keys to Hurst. Look at all these Oklahoma quarterbacks, Murray.
Well, yeah, I mean, they did draft him, but nobody knows what they got with him
Right.
yet.
One of them, I was just thinking about it when you were talking. An underdog, I would say Cleveland Browns.
Okay. Back up to Baker Mayfield.
Think about it. You'd have Odell, Landry, Njoku, Austin Hooper,
Right.
Kareem Hunt, and you have Chubb.
Yeah.
With the defense, I think that he could bring some mobility in there,
Right.
which Baker's not.
Baker's more of a pocket passer with a little bit of mobility when he needs it.
I mean, think about it.
Kaepernick would have more of a true mobility.
He'd be the backup, and I think that's who they need. They need more of a mobile quarterback like the league's going to.
Right.
I don't.
It's shifting.
I
towards
hate
mobility.
saying it, but I don't think Baker's the answer in Cleveland. All those weapons, and you're not producing.
Right.
I know.
He's done more.
This year's
So-
make or break.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's definitely done more than what the last 18
Yeah.
quarterbacks
Yeah,
have
he
done
has.
there.
Yeah, make
So
the
I
whole
give him
season.
credit. I give him credit for that, but I do agree with having OBJ and just all the talent that's surrounding him. And the defense is
Well, they did upgrade.
not perfect,
well,
but they're stout.
and they did upgrade their offensive line this year too, through the draft and free agency.
So once
they got
again-
both tackle positions taken care of. So, like I said, make or break year.
Yep.
I think he's got the talent. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I'm with you
I
there.
know
Make
too-
or break.
I know too at Cleveland, they've taken on players that have had problems with, different events with like Kareem Hunt. I could see it being something that might work, kind of like what happened with Tennessee last year.
No.
I could see that.
Well, now where do you guys think landing spot? Where do you think he goes?
Out of the teams we just mentioned,
Well, we'll say what's on the list right now.
What we kind of mentioned. I'm gonna say Chargers or Jaguars. That's the most realistic spot for him to go, unless if he's going there with a clear-cut intention to be a backup. I don't think the other teams have much of a chance to really compete for the starter position.
I could see Seattle, Chargers.
I'm going Chargers and Jaguars. That's my guess.
I'm going Seahawks or Chargers.
I agree with that. Now, thinking about one other thing to kind of add on to this. It's another team we didn't talk about. What about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
To back up to Brady. Sit behind Brady for a year or two.
Knock the rust off. You got Mike Evans.
That actually could work. I'm not going to lie.
It could. I don't know how their offense... See, but Bruce Arians' offense really isn't for a mobile guy. He's had like Carson Palmer, you know what I mean? And Brady, the offense Brady's going to run isn't going to look like anything Brady. Mobile. Right. You know what I mean?
It's going to fit Brady.
So I don't know.
Quick step back and a quick release.
Obviously, Brady will probably be there for at least, 2 years? 2 to 3 years.
He signed a 2-year deal.
And Arians, I think he likes veteran QBs.
Right.
His whole career seems like it's been like that. So.
But yeah, I think I agree with you. What was it? Seattle and the Chargers. I think the underdog would be Cleveland. Nobody's going to talk about it, but who knows?
Well,
I guess moving on from that, we have the salary cap issue that's coming up. This whole coronavirus thing's kind of causing some problems with
revenue.
Yeah, attendance. Nobody knows. Are they going to have full
like
stadiums? Are they going to have nobody for a while? Is it going to be at 50%?
As of right now, from what my understanding is, from what I've seen on the news and whatnot, it's 50% attendance. I guess they would scatter them throughout the stadium.
Which is still going to cause a lot of lost revenue.
Right. You're not going to be able to pack the stadiums full, but you never know by football season. Maybe the states have phased open a little more. And maybe they open it to 75%. I mean, but at that point, why not just take it up to 100%? Because 50% you would have the scattered, a little bit of the distancing, but 75% you're still gonna. But I mean, at 75%, that'd be stupid because you'd still have a few people that's elbow to elbow.
But the big thing is the salary cap. They're not talking this year; they're talking next year. Could possibly be down 30 to 40 million per team.
Yep.
And if that happens, there's going to be a lot of pay cuts. There's going to be a lot of people looking for jobs because...
So...
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
My whole thing with it, I don't understand exactly how it's going to work, but all the players that's making $15 million a year, Zeke, McCaffrey, would they get a cut? Like, instead of making the $15 million, they would make $12 million? And then the quarterbacks that are making $30 million make $27 million. It would only be fair if you did it across the board.
Well, I don't know how I don't know how they're doing it because, players that are coming up on extensions, do they just say, "Well, wait a year"?
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
Is that something where I don't know. This might be an idea. They take less money. Take a reduction.
That's what I'm saying.
You get more perks like on your jersey sales, merchandise,
right,
for the team. They'll come up with it somehow.
Right, there's got to be a give and take a little bit, but
I think they said that most teams right now, if you look at next year,
they're going to be over.
Most teams are already going to be way over that. Pretty much all the teams.
So that's why I'm saying if they do reduce it, then everyone across the board takes a 15% cut or 20% cut, and that would be fair. That would be the fairest way to do it. Everyone takes the cut, but then any future contracts aren't going to have these hefty pay tags like they have been having.
I know we're going to talk about extensions now. With this, what do you think? Say like Mahomes. You're going to have Lamar, Watson. What do you think teams should do? Extension-wise, do you try signing them right now?
That's the thing. Once Mahomes is ready, he's going to be getting.
He's going to set the market.
He's going to set the market at $200 million.
The problem with contracts right now is nobody knows what's happening. So it's hard to gauge it,
And I mean, here's kind of an idea, we're talking 30, 40 million. Do we see one of these guys like Mahomes, Lamar,
take
Watson,
less to keep the talent?
Take 20, 25 million for the next 2 to 3 years and wait and cash out on that next contract?
Maybe,
but then you're taking injury risk.
Yep.
You get people, especially quarterbacks right now, they want that guaranteed money. That way, if they are injured, they get all that money. Well, how can you promise somebody $40 million next year if you don't have $40 million next year?
Kind of throwing this out there, that could have some implications on the Dallas situation with Andy Dalton and Dak. What do you do there? Or, well, I guess if it's going to be down, I would say, do you get rid of the franchise tag? You can't tag somebody for a year?
That could be another option.
Because,
those tags are expensive.
Because what's that do? It takes, the top 5 annual...
It takes the top 5 players, averages it, and that's what the tag is worth.
That could be an option. No team can use a franchise tag. You lose them, you lose them.
Right.
I think there is going to be a lot of people next offseason that's going to be...
The players are going to have to figure out if they're going to be able to play for less or if they're going to hold out. But if they hold out,
you're playing for you're not playing for nothing.
Then they're in talks, aren't they? That got approved. They're extending the season, right? When does that officially start?
It was supposed to start this year.
Is it this year or is it the following?
I think it was the next. I think it's the next.
Oh, to do the 17-game season? Yeah. So that would make up some of the lost revenue.
But
nobody. I mean, the future. Nobody knows what's happening.
They also approved the 7-team playoff on each bracket. So instead of a 12-team, you have a 14-team with only the 1 seed getting the bye. I like that.
Yeah.
But that's just because we're fans. So so we get to watch the 7
players
versus,
are like, damn.
The 7 versus the 2.
But yeah, that salary cap's going to have a lot to do with a lot of teams' movements and where they're going to go.
I agree.
Next offseason will be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to...
Because I could see, too, a lot of teams instead of maybe signing somebody, maybe just draft a replacement.
So...
Next one.
On to the third one. This is kind of the bigger chunk.
Somebody's player is going to highlight this class.
Yep.
Which we'll get into more of here in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll go through... just kind of the entirety of this. We're talking running backs.
A lot of running backs.
And there's a dozen.
Yep. Right now we have, 16 running backs? It's basically half the league.
16 running backs are going to be looking for some kind of an extension.
Yep. 16 running backs have 1 year left on their deal. Starting running backs, let's say that. Let's word it like that.
And wasn't McCaffrey part of that too? But they extended him already.
You want to go ahead and take it off?
Well, starting off, it's going to be Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook's the number 1.
Which...
we'll get into.
Yeah, we'll get into
that one later.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones.
One of the Vikings' rival running backs.
Fucker.
The one to me that's going to set the market is going to be Derrick Henry.
Yep. Derrick Henry, number 3.
Followed by Leonard Fournette, which that's kind of a toss-up.
Right.
Mixon, he's a big part of Cincinnati's offense. Alvin Kamara, I imagine he'll get extended because they let Ingram walk to Baltimore a couple years ago. Then you got Kenyon Drake, which, what was that list you had? He's what, 3rd, 4th highest paid?
Yeah.
And then you got Todd Gurley.
James Conner with Pittsburgh.
Damian Williams with Kansas City. They did draft a replacement running back. You got good old short man Tarek Cohen. Marlon Mack.
Did you say Kareem Hunt?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Carson, Jamal Williams, and Matt Breida.
All these players looking for a contract.
They have 1 year left on their deal, and they're going to be looking for a contract next year. So
I would say though that's probably one of the best running back classes, give or take.
Yeah, that's definitely a really good running back class. There's a lot to like about those guys hitting the market. Obviously, with Dallas' situation, we already have Zeke, and we have a solid backup behind Zeke. I don't think we're going to be in the market for it.
Baltimore, same thing.
Baltimore's got like a 4-headed monster right now already.
We got Lamar.
Yep.
Well, that's a problem too. Now a lot of teams have seen like what San Francisco does
and what the
what
Ravens
do.
They're building there.
I think it'll be interesting to see what Baltimore does with everybody, with Lamar, Ingram.
Like, do you want to pump that much money into one guy?
Or do you want to have 3 running backs plus a
minimum
mobile
deals
quarterback?
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, like we said, there's not a lot of money that's going to go around next year. So
And think about, to me, if you look at this list, really to me, the only clean cut 3-down back I'd say is probably going to be Derrick Henry. That's going to be the big one.
Followed by Cook. I think Cook would be the number 2, and then Jones number 3.
I would put Jones above Cook.
You would?
Because Jones stays healthier.
True.
Because then you got Dalvin Cook, and I'd say Kamara, Mixon, and Fournette. They got injury concerns.
Right.
That's the biggest thing with them. Now, Viking-wise, out of that list, who would you have? You have a chance to sign any of them.
That's the big one, because if you guys don't sign Cook, because we already got Zeke, Ravens already are built. And Cook is the big one. If Cook has to walk,
I guess I'd say the other thing.
Who would you take?
Henry's probably going to be off the mark.
Right.
He won't.
Henry is here on this list, but like you said, I think Tennessee gets a deal done with him.
I would think Alvin Kamara would get a deal done too.
Yeah, Kamara would get one
I think
done.
Aaron Jones will be off the market too, because I think.
Now,
go ahead.
An underdog that I think you guys could look into would be either Cohen or Marlon Mack. Mack did pretty good in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
He has produced, but granted, Indy does have a decent line.
Joe Mixon's been pretty good. And he's been pretty good on a bad team. I don't know. That's tough.
You got Gurley, who's a big name, but has arthritis
yeah.
in the knee, so you probably wouldn't want him.
I think Gurley's shot, man.
He's more of a rotation guy now.
Right.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt is talented, man. I'll say that.
He's got problems, though, too.
Yeah, but Kareem Hunt's got problems. Yeah. But he's one of the more talented ones on this.
But all these guys looking to get paid, and then you look at James Conner. What's the Steelers have other than Conner? You know what I mean?
All right. They might have to re-up with Conner. It is an interesting list, though, to look at.
So
obviously, I'd say your first pick's probably Henry, if he would be there somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's not got much money into a running back.
That's the problem with the league now. I just don't think you do. But
so who you picking? Who you gonna pick?
Ugh. I don't know because we got. That's tough, man. I don't know.
Make an official decision. Just don't overthink it.
Who's off the market?
We'll say everybody's on.
Everybody's on the market?
Everybody's on there. Or give your
top, theoretical.
Give your top 3. How about that?
Henry, obviously.
Yep.
Kamara. Jones, probably.
Going for a Packer.
Then I'd probably go, hey, we got Brett Favre. that kind of worked out.
That's true. So I guess that's it for our running back section.
Speaking of running backs, I guess we're gonna go on to.
We're gonna go to the team news.
We're gonna go to Viking news right now.
All right. Okay. So Viking news.
Since we started talking about running backs,
the Dalvin Cook issue.
There's a Dalvin Cook situation. He's gonna hold out. He wants to get paid. I think he wants McCaffrey money. What, $16 million? Is that what he's making?
Yep. McCaffrey's making $16 million. Zeke's making $15.
Then you got Le'Veon Bell making $13.1. David Johnson $13. Derrick Henry $10 on the tag. Dalvin Cook is making $1.3 million. I mean, does he need to get paid?
Yes.
Yeah. Does he need to get paid that much?
McCaffrey and Zeke type money.
I love Dalvin Cook. They're way better when he's on the field, and you can tell if you look at the records. When he's on the field and healthy, the team is a lot better.
Right.
Problem is, he's not on the field all the time.
Well,
he doesn't stay healthy.
There was a stat, wasn't there? Who's got the higher yard per carry?
Okay, Alexander Madison, their backup that they drafted last year. Last year averaged 4.6 yards per carry. when he played. Dalvin Cook averaged 4.5.
But didn't Cook have a lot more carries, though?
Cook had a lot more carries, but
the average is still the same. But like you were saying, though, they looked better with Cook on the field.
They did.
So sometimes it's just an eye test.
Yeah.
Stats can be misleading, if...
I don't deny he needs paid. I just
don't think
McCaffrey's been healthy.
Yeah. McCaffrey does it all, though. Catching and running.
So, well, Cook does that, too. Cook catches. It's a tough situation. The cap-wise, I mean, there's no money. Of course, when your quarterback
takes $30
million a year.
Because probably worst case, if he holds out, you got to get rid of him.
Well, there's an interesting scenario with him holding out. He doesn't have leverage. They said if he holds out, they said it does not count against his contract year somehow. There's some way it's written in there. So he actually would lose a year.
And he'd be a restricted free agent next
year. Get paid for it, become a restricted free agent, and they potentially could fine him more than what he makes.
Yeah.
He's set to make $1.3 million, and I read somewhere that they could tally up fines up to $1.5 million. Yeah. So he would owe the Vikings $200,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just he doesn't have leverage when you're thinking of it, and that he might as well just play the fourth year and then go into either tag me or let me walk scenario.
I've heard that they have thrown some offers his way,
but nothing he liked.
There's rumors that they said like $9 million.
And that's realistic, honestly.
That's what I put him at. I'd say 8 to 10. Just because, he's going to want paid, obviously, and, $10 million puts him out of the top 5. I'd say
if I were them and you're going to sign a deal like that, I wouldn't give him this 4 or 5 year deal because you just don't know. A couple year deal, maybe a 2-year deal, $9-10 million.
I'd say 2 to 3.
But I'm not giving him 16. I mean, he hasn't played a full season.
And that's when we go back to those 16 running backs that need a job. A lot of those running backs are...
And there's other
options.
At
least, right. Those are options that you guys could probably find for a 9 to 10 million.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys do sign to like a 2 to 3, if I was you guys, I'd rather front load it. So where, if
get rid
it's
of the
like
guarantee.
that Gurley situation, if he needs... cut or you gotta get rid of him, you're not taking dead cap later down the road.
Right.
The only other interesting option that I read about is a trade. And the trade could be with the Dolphins. He's from the Miami area.
Right.
He went to Florida State. You got Tua, who's going to be on a rookie deal for the next few years. You're not paying. You have salary cap.
Right. So
Tua, Dalvin Cook. If we were going to trade him, I think that would be a good place to trade him.
Right, like you said, Miami has the cap, and Miami would have the capital.
And by the time Tua needs paid, Cook's contract would probably be up anyway. So it's kind of a good situation if he wants to.
That could be a scenario that does.
Do I want to get rid of him? No, but you just can't have this many players making this much money.
Well, here's a question: what do you think he's worth?
He said 9-10 mil. That's
no, capital-wise. What do you think he's worth?
Oh,
second-round pick, third-round pick. What was he formerly?
He was the second.
Second-round
pick.
Right
at the beginning of the second.
I was going to say maybe, high second.
I'd say you probably get a second out, maybe even, I'd say
maybe
third
like
or
a
fourth.
Second and a fifth. Second and a fourth.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a first. Maybe.
I think he is if he's healthy.
He is if he's healthy, but who would give him a first?
But then whoever's going to take on that knows he wants to get paid, so you're going to have to pay him.
Right. So, and that's what I'm saying. With only 1 year left on his deal, that's what I'm getting at. Who's going to throw a first for a player that's only got a year left on his deal? They could throw a first for him, and then he walks anyways.
Yeah.
Unless if they tag him, but that's why I don't think a first would work.
Yeah.
It's kind of. I think he needs to play the year out.
That's what I think too, but that's not what.
I mean, if you look at all the options, he has no leverage. I mean, either he's going to take the less money or you're going to play it out. I mean, he could play it out, stay healthy, and, then he's up to the, making more than Bell. He's at that Zeke McCaffrey money.
The problem is what we had talked about when we talked about the players, about what they make. I mean, look at what happened when they paid Le'Veon Bell. Look what happened when they paid David Johnson. There's a lot of running backs like that. Todd Gurley.
To me,
they got paid, and then they.
To me personally,
downhill.
If you're going to spend that amount of money, I think you're better off running with your backup. Draft somebody if you need to, but look like what you guys did with Diggs. Didn't want to be there, get rid of him. Get what you end up getting.
Well, that's what all teams should. I think he wants to be there. He just wants to get paid. I don't think he's ever came out and said, "Well, I don't want to be here anymore." I don't think that's it.
But then again, too, if you're going to pay him $13-14 million, you guys have a lot of needs elsewhere.
Yeah.
That you can plug and play and get somebody else. That's kind of a tough one for the Vikings.
It's going to be interesting, but I mean, in order to pay him, you're going to have to do something with contracts this year because they can't afford that right now.
Especially with the cap going downhill.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going to work. But we'll see what happens. But
what we going on next? We're going to Ravens?
Yep, we'll go on with the Ravens news. We'll do Cowboys news last.
Well, I guess that we're going to lead off with Lamar's Madden 21 cover.
Okay, yeah.
Oh God, the curse is coming. The curse.
Yeah, he said he's gonna get broke, which I think Mahomes kind of.
That's true.
Broke it, but he still had an injury.
Yeah, I know that's the very odd thing is Mahomes was on the cover. He did win the Super Bowl, so as far as that, he broke the curse. But he did have a season injury. It wasn't season-ending, but it took him out for 3 to 4 weeks.
I do think he kind of got rushed back into it, but that's besides the point. Now, what do you think? What do you think about the variations, though? Supposedly, there's gonna be 3 variations of pictures.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Supposedly, that's what they were saying. There's gonna be 3 variations. The one's got him just with a helmet above, and there's a couple other ones just with pictures.
Right. I'm wondering if that's like the
special edition.
Right, you get the standard, the deluxe, and then the ultimate. So
I can see that.
I'm guessing that's why they're doing that.
I'm sure too. You probably get some benefits with that, for the MUT or whatever. And kind of there's 2 other things really. Ronnie Staley, or left tackle, is going to want to get paid. They're in talks about it.
Doesn't everybody?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. The whole league, everybody wants paid.
Every news story, I want paid.
Yeah, they're saying that They're saying that he's probably going to bring in more money than what Tons will sign with the Texans 22. Obviously, you're going to have to pay him what he wants.
You got to pay offensive linemen. Are hard to find.
They're very hard to find.
So if you got one, you got to pay them.
I do think that the Cowboys got the offensive line right. We built the line through the draft, and we paid them. We paid them early on, so then we didn't get in that situation where we're paying $20 million. We're paying like $12, $13 million for each lineman. But anyways, I do agree he's going to have to get paid.
Well, kind of going off of that, kind of a little off topic, but we're going with the tackle. Do you think it's better to pay a player early than wait till the market gets set?
Yes.
Yeah, because it seems like no matter what, somebody always pays somebody an outrageous amount, and then you're like gotta, match them.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's a lot better.
Then kind of leading out, another thing that came out was RG3 said he wants to be a starter again. He's training to be a starter again.
He's gonna have a hard time finding some place that needs a starting quarterback.
Because the league's going more towards his style of offense.
And it is. Is he still with you guys for one more year? Yep. So I would agree with that. Train hard and see what opens up. I'm sure there's going to be a few bottom barrel teams that don't really look as good as they thought they were going to, and then that, Terry Bridgewater.
Yeah.
I think,
got hurt and he finally came back.
Came back and now he's a starter.
Yeah.
Another thing, kind of going back to what we talked about earlier, I could see them trading him and going after Kaepernick for a backup if they don't believe they got McSorley, and then we have another undrafted that was high school rivals with Lamar. To me, he's not the same RG3 was.
No, I agree.
Even when we played Pittsburgh and he played that game, it was more of I want to say like a Blake Bortles back, just manage the game. Just, move the ball. Don't turn the ball over.
Right.
Could I see him being a starter again? Yeah, maybe a bridge quarterback, for a rookie coming in. But like you said, I think a lot of teams now are getting towards
mobility.
They're set too. Also.
Well, yeah. Pretty much, I think every team right now has a starter.
They've got some kind of a plan in place, give or take.
The only one that's questionable is the Jags. Probably. I think that's the only team that's kind of like. I mean, they're going with Minshew, but they don't have to.
I mean, you're at the point where like going back to them, Fournette. I mean, I could see RG3 going there if there was a trade in place.
Right.
But if I'm Jacksonville, I'd just go in a whole new direction. And then kind of just to end up with the Ravens. The Ravens waived Jake Ryan, linebacker, that played for the Packers. It's not a huge thing, but then when they went ahead and drafted the two linebackers in the draft, he was just a body for camp. So they must be pretty confident in what they have.
Yep.
With Harrison and Queen. And then they said Matt Judon's happy to play on the franchise tag this year.
Yeah, that's good.
He's looking for an extension, though. Hopefully he doesn't break the bank. I think this is more of a prove-it year for him. Just that defense is pretty stacked.
I never understand why players like to whine about the tag, because you're making way more than you were making. You know what I mean? At least for a year.
Right, and it's guaranteed even through injury.
Yeah.
It's 100% guaranteed.
I never saw the problem.
So I'd say pretty much that's going to wrap up Raven news. I think we're going to go roll into Dallas Cowboys.
That's for last.
Oh, come on.
Wait a minute now.
Yeah. I had to throw that in there.
Hey now.
Hey.
Cowboys news. The big one is a few players came down with COVID-19. The big name is Zeke. Zeke came down with it. He's young and healthy. I think he's going to fight it off.
He'll probably be fine.
Well, most of the time, it's only in your system for a couple weeks, maybe at the most.
It's really only affecting the weak,
Yeah.
immunodeficient, the elders. He should be fine, but it just kind of a storyline. It just sucks that he contracted it, you know.
They haven't mentioned who the other players are.
They said the couple Cowboys and a couple Texans, but they only released Zeke's name.
Yeah.
The thing that's kind of weird about that is where did it got released?
Yeah, how did it get released?
Because supposedly with all the, actions that are in place, with doctor-patient.
Yeah.
Zeke even put that on his Twitter. He said HIPAA laws, ? I was like,
going off of
somebody
that.
released the information. He told somebody, and then somebody else told the media.
Well, I'm sure somebody got paid for it. But going off of that, we kind of saw an early design in talks. Do you guys think the players will end up wearing some kind of a helmet that's fully enclosed?
It's definitely a potential. There's a couple drawings, concepts of it. It's full mask.
Some things I've
breather.
seen though might just affect you playing. You know what I mean?
Breathing,
yeah.
Right? Because you're like even wearing those little masks that hook. You're sitting there.
It's definitely.
You know what I mean?
It's going to be a weird season. I think either way. I mean, whatever happens, I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of weird precautions that they're going to take and things that I don't know. It's going to be odd.
But kind of like how you had a little bit less news. This is, I think it was like 12 days old. So we're a little bit behind what we haven't had podcasts in. It's been a while. Travis Frederick was placed on the retired list, and he was due $11.5 million or something, $11.4 million, and they're gonna pay him out a couple million and save $7 million in cap. So they're giving him like a couple million to retire on. They're saving $7 million in cap, so that's going to help us. Maybe we can get something done. Use that $7 million to get something done with Dak. I don't know. There's still no Dak news.
That sucks. He retired.
He's a good player, one of the best centers in the league. I know, kind of to add on to the Dallas video within the division. I know it's always it's not good when a player goes down, but the Eagles guard Brandon Brooks is out with a torn Achilles for the 2020 season. So
I heard about that too.
It might come into play when Dallas and Philadelphia are playing each other.
Yeah, it's been he came down with it. Zeke's got COVID. It's just.
And I think there'll be a lot of other players.
It's going to be crazy.
There probably is now that we don't know about. So
one of the things too is, I guess, kind of cap that off. Do you think this is something that our players are going to have to get tested during the season? Could you end up getting a couple players that aren't able to play just because
there might be?
Yeah, I do believe so. They're going to have 2 weeks where they got to sit out.
And then, I mean, I could see that, say something happens to, for instance, Mahomes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Matt Ward tore it up when he was off, but...
See, and then you got to take into consideration, like, at the end of the year, maybe the team that wins the Super Bowl might not really be the best team because the season might be kind of
odd.
Because one player might not play for 2 weeks because they're sick.
And if it happens in the playoffs,
yeah,
to Mahomes or to Lamar...
Say you're in the Super Bowl, Mahomes, and he comes down, he's got COVID or something.
Are they not going to let him play?
No, he can't play.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to, I don't think.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of weird precautions. They're going to have to take them, but there's a lot of weird outcomes.
And the thing about the NFL in particular, than the other sports don't really have, they have huge rosters.
53 players.
53 players plus training staff and medical staff and coaches. And NBA, 15 players.
When coaches could be getting sick.
Right.
And, yeah.
All it takes is one. But
the UFC has came back on, and they've done a lot of good things. And I think a lot of the NFL, NBA, they're going to kind of follow the structure. They're testing very consistently before the matches and stuff, or before the headliners. So they're testing all the fighters. They're obviously having no fans in the stadiums right now, but the NFL is predicting 50% stadium capacity, but with 53-man rosters, you're all packed into a locker room. There's no 6-foot distancing. Those lockers are right next to one another.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of.
So
a lot of things that can go into play. Here's another thing. I can't remember what player came out and said it. If they don't have fans, would you want to have the players all mic'd up during the games?
I think maybe not all players, but
probably not because I think people will be getting suspended.
Yeah, but maybe some key. I mean, they do some mic up, just randomly, but I definitely think miking up the quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers.
No, I know the XFL kind of did it, but I do maybe do interviews or something, on certain
sideline interviews,
just something to kind of keep it going, make it more interesting. No fans, unless you want to put it in the EA Madden.
Yeah.
Stadiums.
You think Dak's getting paid? I mean,
that's
we've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, that's the big question. There's still no news on it, and
nothing's getting done.
Is he gonna hold
it frustrates me because I want him to get paid, but he's asking for ridiculous amounts of money. He's asking for Mahomes type money when he hasn't even got us past divisional round in the playoffs. I love my Cowboys, and I love Dak, but I'm a Cowboys fan before I'm a Dak fan.
He loves them. I love you.
But you know what I mean, though. Like you're a Vikings fan before you're a Cousins fan. Yeah. You're a Ravens fan. Yeah. You're going to be Ravens even after Lamar's gone. You know what I mean? So I was a Cowboys. I was a Cowboys fan before Dak, and I'm a Cowboys fan after him.
I had to root for Matt Castle.
Yeah.
Christian Ponder.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, Joe Webb. Remember Joe Webb?
Joe Webb.
But anyways, I do think he deserves paid, but he's got to meet in the middle with Jerry Jones on a real number. Jerry offered him $30 million, and then I think he upped it to $33.
That's tag
money. I think. Yeah, that's what he was tagged. It's tagged for $33, and I think Jerry's willing to work around that range, $33 to maybe $35. But he's asking for $40.
I don't think he should be making over $30.
But
30.
That's just the way it is.
I know.
But I'm with you. I think 25 to 30 is what his play has dictated his worth. But the way it works is, that's the Cowboys quarterback, and that's the franchise tagging him, and the franchise is worth 33. So now it becomes, I'm worth 33.
What makes no sense about the whole situation is everybody keeps saying, well, every year, except for next year, you know, the cap was going to go up every year.
Right.
Well, then if you're asking for more money, what does it matter if the cap goes up? You're still stuck in the same boat with your players.
Kind of how like with the Khalil Mack, you know, that contract's not going to be big 3-4 years from now.
Yeah.
But then you're sitting there with a guy that, do you keep paying it?
But yeah, like you said, 33 for Dak.
Going on to like Dak.
And 40 for Mahomes. But then like you said, in 10 years, that 40 is going to be 50.
Yeah.
It's just going to keep climbing.
My thing about this, I think you should just trade him. Jacksonville probably. I would just get something out of him and
Because go with Dalton.
This is what's going to happen. It's going to be a headache. It's like the Zeke holding out thing. And then like Zeke, when he kept playing off the suspension, was that 2 years ago?
Yep. He kept putting it off rather than just accept the suspension, get it out of the way.
The first 4 out, you go 0-4, you can still go 12, you know, win 12 in a row. I mean,
but he waited until half the season was over, and then right when we needed him,
then you're in playing.
He was out a couple of games, and then we lost a couple of those games, and it's like if Zeke was in there. So like you said, if he's going to do this holding out crap,
my thing is, I mean, it's back and forth because Dak's got he's got a lot of leverage. Think about it. The offense, he has a line.
Is tailored for him.
He's going to pad the stats. I mean, he's going to throw probably for 4,500, 5,000 yards.
He's got the receivers.
He's got a badass O-line. He's got fucking Zeke.
If he needs to take the game over, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Gallup, and now you got Amari Cooper.
So we got a three-headed monster.
Iffy,
right. Tight ends is our weakest spot.
But, I mean, I guess it comes and goes because then Dalton could thrive in that offense too.
Because Dalton wasn't bad.
Yeah.
He just was on a bad team.
I think that's the leverage that the Cowboys are trying to have.
I mean,
they're not really saying it. They're saying that Dalton's the backup. But deep down, Jerry made the right move. I really think so. Because if Dak does do this crap, then we roll with Dalton, and we see what Dalton's made of. Hell, if Dalton has us at 5-1, 4-2, where's Dak's leverage? You know what I mean? Yeah. Being realistic about it. Yeah. And then if he wants to hold out the whole season, we go 10-6, 11-5 with Dalton. We make the playoffs. Dak won't get that $33 million.
Here's a question, and I know we're kind of going back to the Dalvin Cook thing. Can he get fined enough to not make money?
Who, Dak?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so. Not with making $33 million.
No, I'm talking about right now in his deal he's on. He's on the last year of it.
Well, no, they tagged him.
He hasn't signed the paper, though, has he?
He hasn't signed the paper, but I'm sure he would sign it before going into the season because he wouldn't want to put himself in that position. We could withdraw the tag, though, but I think you have to do it by a certain date. I think it's July 15th. Yeah, halfway through the July. You can pull it before then, or it sets into stone.
It's like another thing, too, with you guys. That's enough money right there to start re-signing people.
33 million.
Yeah. I mean, you already signed Jalen. You're going to sign Will Vander.
We got Cooper dealt with.
You got Zeke.
Yep, we got Zeke. We got Jalen.
Some of those linemen are probably going to start coming up. Martin and a couple of other ones.
Anyways, though, that's about it for Cowboys news.
That's us rambling on.
Yeah, we're just rambling at this point.
Rambling on.
Cowboy, ramble.
Anywho.
But yeah. That's all we got.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's more news.
Yeah, hopefully there's more news soon. It was good to get back together and get some
the band's
get
back
some
together.
New, get some news back on. So
tell you how we feel.
Just tell me how you feel.
Tell me how you feel. Tell me.
All right.
That's it. Until next week.
Peace out.
Peace out.